this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad. I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad. Doing no cap. Only God wants you. Better go live it up. Cash in the bag. Stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad.
Yeah.
Baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact. Give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious. I'ma go cause something, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame. Yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad. I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad. Do it no doubt. Only God wants you, better know.
Should stay, thank you. I would only be in your way, so I'll go. But I know I'll think of you each step of the way. Bittersweet memories, that's all I am taking with me. Goodbye, please don't cry, 'cause we both know that I'm not what you need. But I will always love you. I will always love you. And I hope life treats you kind. And I hope that you have all that you ever dreamed of. And I wish you joy. And I wish you lots of happiness. Oh, but above all of this, I wish you love. And I will always love you. I will always love you. I will always love you. Thank you.
Songs of all time, without a doubt. It's crazy that Dolly Parton is gone. One of her favorite lines that has been a motto and something I've lived with for a very, very long time is one of her quotes was, "Find who you are and do it on purpose, and do it with a purpose." I've been living like that for literally my entire life. I am a grinder. I am a guy that refuses, and I'm a nice person, but I refuse to take no for an answer. I bull my way through because I've got talent. I have talent to bull my way through, but I do it with a smile on my face. So there's a lot to learn with Dolly Parton's passing. Lot of grace, a lot of having a hard life, which she did. She was raised with like 12 brothers and sisters, in a house that was tiny with no money. And she had songs like A Coat with Different Colors, a song that she has that she wrote, A Coat of Many Colors. And there was a movie, and I think there was also a play when it come to that. She talked about basically getting hand-me-downs of hand-me-downs of hand-me-downs, and then she wrote a song about it, and it was a hit song for her. Doing it with not caring what the public thinks. Yes, she came out with the wigs and the fanciness and the boobs that are lifted up, and I mean, it was Dolly Parton, and she did it unapologetically, and that's what I like about her. She did it with grace. She was kind. She gave millions and millions of books to little kids through like the school system. She would donate millions and millions of books to all kinds of little kids that wanted to learn how to read. I mean, they don't make them like Dolly Parton anymore. Not even close to making them like Dolly Parton. Now everybody thinks that their opinion matters and that you should listen to somebody. I mean, this whole channel was built on that. That's why we make fun of it, because people, just because you think that you have an opinion doesn't mean it's the correct opinion. And then on top of it, it's wrong and you're a shithead, and I'll point out that you're a shithead. That's the entire point of this channel. So it's Hulk Hogan was the hardest one for me. Dolly Parton's kind of getting a little bit hard for me. I mean, she was an icon. There's nobody going to be like Dolly Parton ever. I wanted to see her live, but she was having health problems and she stopped touring, and she was getting up there in age, and it never happened, which sucks. I wanted to see her and it just didn't happen. So I've got a couple videos that we're going to talk about Dolly Parton with. So let me, and YouTube's, that's always, I Will Always Love You. And I know you're going to copyright strike it, even though she passed away today, and it's an honor and honoring Dolly Parton, but YouTube doesn't care about that stuff. So, okay, let me share this. And this came out this afternoon or this morning, and this is the video that basically broke the news that Dolly Parton had passed. So let me pull this up.
Hey everyone, my name is Brian Seaver, son of Cassie Parton, and I'm representing the Parton and Owens family today.
And this was posted on Dolly Parton's social medias. So this was posted today, and there was rumblings that she went to the hospital and that she was having back pain and other and then this was posted on her social medias and her YouTube.
Sister, sis, Aunt Granny to one generation and Gigi to the next. This video announcement is something Dolly asked of me years ago, before I fully absorbed it as a future reality. As her head of security for more than 2 decades, a role my father Larry held before me, I have imagined the heaviness of this moment, but haven't truly felt it until now. It is an honor that is mixed with absolute pride and great sadness. But sadness lies with us, not with Dolly. Dolly has lived in the light and is in the arms of Jesus, surely met by Carl, her parents, and countless others who have watched her and longed for her to meet them in the heavens. I first went on the road with Dolly as a kid, getting a taste of the road life in the early 1980s. Dolly opened doors not just for me, but for her entire family to reach the potential we didn't even know was possible. Dolly also opened doors for generations of singers, songwriters, musicians, and dreamers from every walk of life and across every continent. By her example, we believed that anything was possible. She never saw a door she couldn't open, and the doors she opened made and changed history. My family and I...
And she did it with class and grace. And just she never sat down. She never rested. She always was full speed ahead. And I've talked about this before on this channel. Obviously I'm not Dolly Parton or the level that Dolly Parton is, but I'm a creative person who's made movies, who's done art, who's done all kinds of stuff. You can't turn it off. Like, there's no turning it off. I think I had an aunt a couple weeks ago say, well, so you done with the making a movies thing? And I'm like, no. I mean, obviously some people just don't understand that you cannot turn it off. It's something that like, and I view what I do, and other people can speak up and think what they, what they view or whatever. But it's a calling. I'm called to make art, to hopefully entertain somebody, to have one person say, you know what, that movie did something for me, like one person. So yeah,
I have shared a lifetime of beautiful memories with Dolly, but so have you. She has always been on your television, your record player, your CD, and on your phone playlist, becoming an extended part of your family, whether you liked it or not. Our family and the team she has entrusted with her legacy will work diligently to ensure her spirit will live with us forever. Dolly was a farmer, just like her daddy. He farmed the soil, she farmed songs and happiness. Dolly called me and said she wants to rest in a beautiful bed of plush cotton because after a life wearing heavy rhinestones, she finally deserves to be comfortable and have some rest. Rest in peace, Aunt Dolly, Aunt Granny, Gigi. May God bless Dolly Parton, and may God bless you all. She will always love you.
And that song that I played, right in front of the stream there, she was on like a variety show, and she was on the variety show for many, many years. And I can look it up real quick which one it was. Porter Wagner's TV show, recording partnership, in 1967. And she became very likable, like very fast on that show. And some of the songs that she had written while being on that show was Coat of Many Colors, Jolene. And then she sung I Will Always Love You as sort of like, I'm leaving the show and I'm moving on to the next thing. And she had sung that song on the last episode that she appeared on to basically say thank you. Nowadays, there's people that are just like, screw you, I want to do what I want to do. And we'll get to that. She had a partnership, and she was on a show, a very popular show, and she made hit songs while on that show, but she still had enough grace to be able to say, I want to run a song about my time being here, but it's time to go. And she did. And I Will Always Love You was born. And then later was done as a cover by Whitney Houston, which the Whitney Houston cover is amazing, but I always like the Dolly version. I don't know. I'm all old soft when it comes to that stuff. All right.
Welcome back as we continue our coverage following the news that country music icon Dolly Parton has passed away at 80 years old. Reaction, of course, pouring in, including from the Commander-in-Chief, President Trump, who posted this on Truth Social, quote, very sad to report that Dolly Parton, one of the greatest country singers and far beyond ever, has just passed away. This is a true loss for millions of people. There has never been anyone like her and never will. In her honor, I am lowering the American flag throughout the United States for a one-week period, beginning tonight at 6 p.m. Rest in peace, Dolly. The world loves you.
Joining us now, New York Post features columnist Kirsten Fleming. Kirsten, good to see you. What's your reaction to the president's Truth Social post?
He's 100% correct. I mean, the world loves her, and I think she might be the last person to be beloved by everybody. If you had a problem with Dolly, I think it was more a problem with you than
I agree with that statement. If you have a problem with Dolly Parton, then there's a serious problem with you. Because she never she loved everybody. She loved children. She donated millions and millions of books. Her songs were of struggle, but of kindness and of love. And like, I Will Always Love You is one of the greatest love songs of all time. I mean, it's going to be, in my opinion, it's number one, but it's arguably, it could be in the top 5 or something. But I Will Always Love You is arguably one of the greatest love songs of all time. So it's like if you have a problem with Dolly Parton, then you got issues and you need to deal with those issues. Seriously.
In these polarizing times, she really, like, her passing, I think, symbolizes, this throwback celebrity where who was didn't dive into all these different issues, and she just was so universally beloved, and that just does not happen anymore.
I think that's an excellent point, Kirsten. And also, she was such an inspiration to so many artists who have topped the charts themselves today. As we mentioned, she's Miley
Whoever
Cyrus.
picked the pictures for that were not very kind to Dolly Parton. Those are kind of retarded pictures. You couldn't pick us some when she was younger and pretty. I mean, come on.
Cyrus's godmother also inspired Taylor Swift and Beyonce and many, many more. But also, to your point, I was always just so fascinated by her and the fact that people would make fun of her. They'd make fun of her appearance. They would say terrible things, especially when she was in her heyday before she quite reached icon status. But I remember watching her, and I mentioned this earlier.
Okay, so we're going to be, this lady's bringing this up. And then when we're talking about people, we're talking about women. That's the women that we're talking smack to Dolly Parton in the 80s and early 90s. Let's get it straight. She wants to say people. It was women. She was pretty. She was talented as all hell. She had big breastises that the guys liked. So the people talking smack is coming from jealousy from women. Let's not cut the, I mean, let's cut the shit and stop lying. That's what it was.
Earlier to Bill, she did an interview, or Barbara Walters did an interview with her forever ago, and even said to her, like, you're so talented. Like, why do you do, all this kind of reference, the hair and the bleached hair and the over the top clothes. And Dolly said, well, why not? I love it. It makes me happy. This is who I am. And if you don't like it, well, all right.
Kick rocks.
And I just think that
Dolly Parton wouldn't say kick rocks.
Confidence, but that comfort in her own skin, especially someone who was born very, very poor and became very, very wealthy. She just had such.
She grew up in a house that was tiny with 12 brothers and sisters. That's insane.
A confidence that I think could be an inspiration, not just to music artists or performers, but I think to everybody, especially in this age of social media and so much unkindness.
Well, she was in on the joke. She didn't take herself too seriously.
I mean, I agree with that. Says born the fourth of 12 children in a poor farming family in a one-room cabin in Locust Ridge, Tennessee, in the Great Smoky Mountains. So when she did her theme park, it's only a few miles from where she grew up, and she wanted to give people in the area a place to work. I mean, this lady was absolutely incredible. Parton grew up in a dirt poor. Her father was a sharecropper, tobacco farmer. Her mother shared Appalachian songs and folklore. She began writing songs as a young child, performed on local radio and television as a preteen, and appeared at the Grand Ole Opry at the age of 13. That is insane.
That goes such a long way with people nowadays, and not enough people have that ability to laugh at themselves. But she saw it. Barbara Walters wasn't breaking any news to her about how people viewed her. She was really all about how she viewed herself. And I think, I agree. Growing up in the 80s, you had, I grew up on 9 to 5 and Steel Magnolias, and she really was cartoonish in a way, but she was just so confident, and it kind of just made you love her even more because, like I said, she was kind of winking at herself too.
You should switch to.
So, yeah, it's insane. So the other topic that I've got two more Dolly Parton things that we'll go through. I mean, okay, so it's Dolly Parton. Yes, it's sad seeing Dolly Parton passing away, but I agree with him where it's more of a celebration because that's what she was. She was just a fun person who gave back insane amount of to communities and to children. And if the roles reversed and it was somebody that she loved, I mean, she mourned them, but she celebrated them. So it's like you want to give her the same grace because I mean it's a sad day because she passed, but like I mean a celebration of the accomplishments and all the stuff that she gave and did is amazing. That's the thing though. Is this next generation could give a shit about Dolly Parton. To them, it's some old lady that just passed away. So I don't agree with that statement because there's a lot of people and children and young people under the age of 25 that don't get it and will never get it. It's all about them. It's all about social media, and it's all about their heads are in the in the phone, but they don't actually learn anything.
Legs that you can still show that off. So she never really stopped having cultural impact. And I think that that's what's really interesting. She never stopped being herself. So you have someone like Madonna who constantly reinvents herself and has now turned herself into almost a cartoonish person because she's always trying on different personalities.
I'm sorry. Madonna and Dolly Parton aren't in the same stratosphere. Sorry. They're not.
Dolly always stayed true to herself, and every single artist, young, old, they know who she was. They worshiped her. And it's, again, it goes back to being true to herself. But I think she just was so immensely talented. And I think that, we don't really, it's sort of hard to see how much of an impact she's really had. You don't even realize how many songs she's written, how many songs of hers have been remade by other younger artists. But right. It's an enduring legacy that it's singular. She really is singular in that aspect.
And to your point, I mean, she had a career that spanned more than 6 decades. She wrote thousands of songs for herself and others. Obviously also had an incredible presence on screen as well as an actress. There you see her, of course, with Julia Roberts. Yeah. And again,
that's a young Julia Roberts.
Whenever she was performing, you just couldn't take your eyes off of her. Even now, when we're not hearing her voice, just even watching her, I'm just mesmerized by what we're seeing here. But also what I think is so amazing, I mean, she made her debut at the Grand Ole Opry at age 13.
Wow.
She sold more than 100 million records worldwide. So really her entire life, this is what she did. And I think to your point, Bill, she's built a foundation for people rather than left a hole, and something that I think I'm hoping a lot of her fans, this will be a moment of coming together again, because as you both said, she didn't talk about politics. She wasn't angsty. She wasn't pushing causes down people's throats. She was just Dolly, and there was nothing simple about just being Dolly. Larger than life, literally, but truly such an inspiration in so many ways. And I think maybe even just not just being kind to other people.
That's not, I mean, she lived by example. You know what I mean? Like, she put her money where her mouth is, and she led by example. She didn't sit there and say, well, I got a voice. It's like, she could have done that, and because she's iconic enough to be able to do that, but she didn't.
But being kind to yourself.
Yeah. She really, oh gosh. And I feel like she went out on top. You know, I feel like she's never been hotter than she is now in a weird way.
And Kirsten, I'm going to say that because she's actually been working on a musical about her life that is going to be coming to Broadway. It's happening. So she, of course, will live on in so many ways, but also in something that has never been seen before. It's called Dolly, an original musical. And of course, she's continued developing new music, as you pointed out, and entertainment projects. And even though she just admitted on Friday that after her dear husband of nearly 60 years passed away a bit over a year ago, her health has been maybe declining. She hasn't been taking as good care of her.
And that's something that happens a lot. I have aunts and uncles that have been married for 75 years together. And it sucks because if one of them goes, the other one is probably not too far behind them, because they've been in each other's lives for 75 freaking years. They met when they were like teenagers and haven't been separated since. It's insane. But it sucks because if one starts having a problem, they're both going to start having a problem, and it sucks. And you know, they're aunts and uncles of mine, and it's going to be sad when that happens, you know.
Herself, but she was still working, doing what she knew, doing what she loved, and also continuing to make so many other people happy.
And think about how many new fans she will develop after her passing with this play coming out. I mean, that was kind of my thought on this whole next generation, that this is a true...
I don't agree with that. Again, these young kids don't give a shit about this stuff. They don't care. So it's like, yes, she's iconic, and she deserves every dedication and tribute and everything that's going to be coming her way. But these young kids don't give a shit.
Legacy that will continue to build and gain new fans. And that's why this feels like a celebration of what's to come and her incredible life that is past. Other than sometimes you're reporting on things that when somebody dies who's had that much of an impact, it feels down, it feels sad. But this feels like this, you're getting the same smiles. People are reminiscing about what she's singing about, watching this and getting inspired instead of feeling sad. And I think that is an incredible legacy, right?
And one of the things, and I think one of these videos that I watch is going to touch on it. She got a nomination a couple years ago to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and she's like, "What? Like, I'm not a rock and roll artist. Why am I inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?" And she told them no, that she didn't want to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because she didn't earn it. So they went ahead and submitted the paperwork and put her name in for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So she came and made a bunch of phone calls and made a rock and roll album. Some of the covers are actually pretty good, but it's one of these things where it's like, well, I didn't earn it. So she literally made a rock and roll album. Pretty amazing.
Welcome back as we continue our coverage following the news that country music icon Dolly Parton has passed away at 80 years old. Reaction, of course, pouring in, including from the commander-in-chief, President Trump, who posted this on Truth Social, quote, "Very sad to report that Dolly Parton, one of the greatest country singers and far beyond ever, has just passed away. This is a true loss for millions of people. There has never been anyone like her and never will. In her honor, I am lowering the American flag throughout the United States for a one-week period,
Hold on,
beginning tonight."
I think I doubled that one up. Here, let me switch it over to this one. All right, let's go to this one.
And songwriter Lee Greenwood joins me. Lee, thank you very much for joining me. Obviously, it's a sad occasion to be joined, but you knew Dolly. In fact, she participated in a tribute to you about 2 years ago, didn't she?
Yeah, we were friends. I toured with Kenny. I wrote Kenny Rogers songs, and when they come out with Islands in the Stream, I was like, man, that's a perfect duet. It proved that she could sing with anyone. She was born.
I was talking earlier about her foundation. She founded the Dollywood Foundation, and most notably, Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, inspired by her father's illiteracy. So her father couldn't read and write, which was distributed hundreds of millions of free books to children from birth to age 5 worldwide. She supported education, healthcare, disaster relief, and other causes. That's absolutely insane. And like I said, she didn't have to do that. She didn't go on social media looking for people to say, "Hey, I did a thing. Could you give me some flowers?" She didn't do that. She put her money where her mouth was. That's why I admired. I loved her songs, and I loved her, you know, how she was bubbly and she was positive, and I loved her songs, and she put her money where her mouth was.
Born with such great gifts. Beautiful, beautiful woman, charming. If you ever met her, you would realize the joy that she had in her eyes when she talked to you. It was always eye contact. She would never just kind of look around. She would address you as a person. Her imaginary library was so wonderful when she started that. It addresses the issues for kids. And of course, she's a force for music, a force for women, a force for children. We will miss her terribly. And I was just choked up today when I heard her passing. I had no idea that she was that ill. But I'll tell you, when you first heard Dolly sing, there was no voice like hers anywhere. That fast vibrato, it was just capturing every hit that she had, whether it was 9 to 5 or Islands in the Stream or I Will Always Love You. That was from the heart. She wrote that song and others would copy it, but she was the only one that could really sing it that way.
You know, she made you feel good. You didn't even have to know her, but she made you feel good. You listened to her song, or you listened to her talk, and you couldn't look away or you couldn't stop listening if you heard her song. She just made everyone feel happy, I think.
And an international star. I mean, she was loved by all America, but she was loved in the whole world. No one could ever say anything bad about Dolly Parton because she never said bad about anybody else as well. That's a true, beautiful person, and we love her for it. Gosh, we're going to miss you so much, Dolly. I don't know what else to say.
It was so sad. I mean, a year and a half ago, her husband of 58 years died, and she was so close to him, but we never got to know him much because he was sort of a private man, because she had a very, she had a private life as well. But she, she deeply loved him. 58 years, the two of them were together, and that's a good number.
They did live a very private life, and I know when Carl died, it broke her heart. She was very quiet about that, and her life after that became somewhat lonely.
And she's a very private person. For as in your face and as bubbly and as Dolly Parton's iconic, her personal life she kept her pretty well. She kept personal. Her husband Carl Dean, that she was married for forever. The people were always kidding, like, does this guy exist? Who's this guy that she's married to? Because he wasn't in the public eye. He was a regular, normal guy, which is interesting because you're looking at a megastar, an icon in music, in movies, and in culture, like pop culture. She's married to like a regular Joe.
But we all embraced her. We embraced her career. And I'll tell you what, it's just, there will never, ever be another girl like Dolly Parton.
Well, we're sort of misled a little bit because she seemed like she would last forever. And then even when she got sick and in May and canceled her residency, she said just a short time ago that she was getting better. And it just seemed like Dolly would never be leaving us because she seemed invincible. I mean, she at 80 years old, she's out there singing more than anyone else.
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, you think people are going to live forever. You know what I mean? Like it's wild where you think people are going to live forever. And then you have that reality check where it's just like, man, that sucks.
My wife Kim and I talked about this morning. We just felt she was eternal. There would never be an end, and by the way, just before she passed, she said, I have so much to achieve. So she wasn't expecting to be gone anytime soon. But when God calls, we will move to the other side, and it'll be a better place. It'll be a place where she can join all of the friends that she's had who have left us before her.
Everyone talks about her music, which you can't help to talk about today, but she had that side of her, that extreme kindness. She was a philanthropist, gave a lot of money away, helped a lot of people. I mean, there's a whole nother side to to Dolly that we didn't, that we heard about, but it just didn't, I guess we didn't talk enough about.
Yeah, Greta, you have to realize that she was a very big entrepreneur, but she was also extremely gracious in how she spread her wealth around to help other people.
Yes, she did.
That comes as a common theme, I think, with people that have such a big heart as she did. I loved her early performances. I loved the metamorphosis she went through and became the megastar that she was. I love the film 9 to 5. She fit so well into that role. And she just did everything well. Everything she did well. My congratulations to her and her entire career. Dolly, we're going to miss you so much.
Indeed, we all are. I mean, the whole nation is. Lee, as always, thank you very much for joining me.
All right, I got one last one here. I tried to pick the ones that had some sort of celebrity that was talking about her and stuff, as opposed to just the news thing, you know?
This afternoon is the legendary country musician, often called the Queen of Country, Dolly Parton, passed away at the age of 80. Now, Parton released 49 albums. She won 11 Grammy Awards, starred in movies, and even had her own theme park named after her. Let's bring in a man who knew Dolly Parton, guitar icon and American Outdoor Sportsman of the Year, Ted Nugent. Ted, you knew her. You sent us the pictures.
I'll tell you, Dolly Parton was a force to reckon with. We've lost a great, great musical authority, a really down-to-earth, really grounded entrepreneur. She represented the best of the best, and I was lucky to collide with Dolly Parton on the road doing concerts side by side. We've never done a concert together, but I'll never forget when I was doing a sold-out concert in San Antonio, and she was doing a sold-out concert in San Antonio, and we kind of rendezvoused on the streets that night eating Mexican food. And she was like a buxomless Ted Nugent. She had a lot of piss and vinegar, a lot of spirit, a lot of attitude. And she's created a soundtrack through her dreams to be the best that she can be. She's created a soundtrack for a lot of people. So God bless Dolly Parton. And we lost Frank Beard from ZZ Top. We're still mourning Toby Keith and Eddie Van Halen. So we're losing a lot of musical forces, but their music will be with us forever.
I was listening to her 9 to 5 song in my office before we came on. It really, I mean, she did rock the music, but she was also like one of the kindest souls. Like she spent she was extremely wealthy, rightfully so, but she spent a lot of her money helping people.
You know, and that's not out of the ordinary. I started a Ted Nugent Camp for Kids charity 37 years ago. Eddie Van Halen donated to children's charity. Sammy Hager's got a children's foundation. Steven Tyler does incredible donations. So in the music industry, you have a lot of very loving, giving, generous souls. And Dolly Parton, I'm sure, led the way in many ways. You know, I'm a rock and roll guy, and she was country music. And Toby Keith was a dear friend. I got some great country buddies. In fact, I'm angry I didn't write the song Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. But that being as it may, Dolly Parton's attitude and her positive
This is not his song, but okay, Ted, roll with it.
energy was just, like I said, a force to reckon with. So we're going to miss her. I got to jam with her on the Mike Douglas show. There's a video of that somewhere. And what a moment it was. Mike Douglas, Susan Anton, Ted Nugent, Dolly Parton. Now, there's proof that really good people can get along no matter what their roles in life, right?
No, 100%.
That's a ragtag group right there.
She didn't stop, too. Like she was up till the day, I wouldn't say the day, but up till very recent to her passing, she was on the go.
Yeah, and again, that work ethic.
I think he meant to say should have been a cowboy that he should have wrote, but he said a Big and Rich song. So yeah, he botched that one. Still love you, Ted, but you botched that one.
She was different than you and I, but not really. Had a work ethic, believed in God, family, country, being the best that you can be, getting up early, being a productive asset for your family, your neighborhood, your fellow man, the American dream, and people around the world. And I've toured all around the world, and there's no place on planet Earth that people don't really smile when you mention the name Dolly Parton. And I think that'll live on forever. You know, in the middle of Stranglehold, I said, some people think to get high, you got to start low. You think you're going to die. I got news. You never got to go. Dolly Parton music is a perfect example of that. It'll be a soundtrack for loving people forever.
Yeah. And she kept, ownership of all her rights and all that stuff because she considered them her children. Ted Nugent, pleasure as always, sir.
So yep. That's about the iconic Dolly Parton passing today. And I mean, they're right. Her music is iconic, and even though she's gone, her songs are going to live on. She's got a handful of songs that I've got in my playlist that I just I'll put on, and it's even though she's gone and she's never going to be forgotten. Dolly Parton. So there's, and this is the only time that I'm going to talk about it. So the channel is going to run and through. It's going to do a little bit of changing. Okay, so when we first started, what, year and a half ago, we were doing. I was talking about movie stuff because my movies keeps going on social media platforms and everything else. So I wanted to use it as a vehicle for my movie. And then we started talking about like the ins and outs of how to make a movie and write a movie, and I had one of my actors from the movie on the channel. Then we started kind of going into talking about different like reacting to different content and stuff. And then I would just look at to see, okay, what are people watching? What are people into? What does people want to talk about or something? Because I'm a movie dork, so I'm always gonna go to movie stuff because I'm movie dork. I mean, that's just my something. That's what I'm into, and I'm hoping with this channel is I wanted to also, you know, run into movie dorks that wanted to just talk about and jam and talk about writing stories and what your favorite movie is and like all that stuff. So I was doing a stream over on BTM reviews, and I was promoting my movie. And then I met a gentleman by the name of Julio. That's a stage name for YouTube's. And we had a lot of good conversation. I'm like, he would be cool to have as a co-host for a show. So I reached out to him. I said, Julio, I said, I think we have good conversation. We have good rapport. And a lot of people, when we first started doing it, is like, yeah, you guys have good conversation. You guys have good rapport. And I enjoy the conversations that we have. But over the last couple months, I would say, I always want to handle things on my own. I mean, it's my channel, so I wanted to have more of a structured show as opposed to kind of like a willy-nilly. I wanted to actually have some structure to it because that's what I come from. I'm coming from movies and television and reality shows, and I'm used to structure. So it's like I want to have a structured show. So then we've kind of I've been trying to make segments that are different that people can get involved in. And then the last couple months, I've been I have a buddy that's been on the sports channel, and he likes talking about sports. I like talking about sports, so we started doing sports stuff over in Frames and Rhythm Sports. And the streams and the times that we could do the streams started changing because we were doing Tuesdays and Sundays, and then it moved to Sundays, and then it moved to Tuesdays. And I was doing it because my co-host was, you know, had work stuff and had family stuff. So it's like, okay, no problem. We'll just kind of go with the flow. But it slowly but surely became a problem where it's like he called me or messaged me today about 3 hours before the show saying that he can't go. And it's like I don't want to put somebody in a position where they're just coming on here because I've asked them to, and they feel bad about like saying, no, you know, I'm actually good. I'm not having a good time on the show anymore. I wish people would be honest with me, which they never are, ever. So I was like, okay, I think it's time for us to part ways, we'll just say. So Julio is going to go on to other streams and do his thing and do his music and all that stuff. And we're going to still be friends, and we're going to still be friendly and stuff. But it's one of those things. It's like, I don't want to force people to do something that they're just not into. And I got the feeling, and I could be completely wrong. And I'll say that I'm wrong, that the last month or two, he just wasn't into it. And I don't think he was into it before, because I was doing everything and he would just kind of show up and do the reactions, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I just think he wasn't into it. And it's like the more that the schedule kept changing, and it was like then we'd be missing. And I understand life. I'm not saying that life doesn't happen, but it's like when it starts getting more frequent, it's like, okay, I think it's time to call it a partnership is over. So this is the only time I'm going to talk about it. So Julio's not going to be on the stream anymore. I'm going to continue to work on the stream and develop stuff so that people can participate, and trivia and Like I have a thing, we're going to do little skits, like kind of like Mystery Science 3000 type thing. I've got something like that. So I'm working on other stuff that people can kind of get involved. And I wish people would get involved and everything else. So I also want to do like a panel show and have other people come on for a panel show on a certain day. But I haven't talked to anybody, so this is kind of the beginning roots to it. So I would love to do the Frames and Rhythm live, and then do a panel show one of the days or something like that. The only problem is some of the people that I've befriended over the years doing this YouTube stuff and being on them and hanging out with them on their channel, they're streaming at the same time I'm streaming. So it's like sometimes it's hard because everybody's kind of doing their own thing, and it's like you don't want to get in the way, but it's like you also want to do your own thing too. So it's kind of, and I never had a problem with that because it was like, okay, I think it's time. If I'm doing Frames and Rhythm, we want to maybe get a new audience together. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the people that I know are from like comic books and this and that. So it's like I wouldn't mind having my own audience that enjoys the Frames and Rhythm and what we do. Aiden's in the chat right now. He's the co-host for the sports show. So Julio's not going to be on the channel anymore. And I'm going to continue to possibly look for another co-host, so that we can still talk about movies and music. Because I thought it was a cool idea to have a musician as the rhythm, so that he could give his opinion about music and stuff. He didn't necessarily go in as deep into music and theory that I would like to have had him go through. But it's one of those things where it was like we just kind of rolled with it. So it's kind of like it is what it is. So I want to do a panel show. So I'm going to start building maybe a team and do a panel show at some point. Do Frames and Rhythm live. But yeah, that's it. So the channel is going to be forever changing, and hopefully you guys are watching and enjoying what we're doing, and come hang out and have comments and yeah, and just enjoy the nerdiness of making movies and watching movies and storytelling and all that type of stuff. So thank you everybody for watching, and RIP to Dolly Parton, one of the greatest of all time. So thank you everybody, and we'll talk to you later.